Hi, this is Ms. Dutchins, and I'm going to show you how to do the best practices activity. So you guys will be doing this activity asynchronous, which means that you guys are not going to go to a Google Meet to get directions. The directions for this will obviously be in the video that I'm making, and the directions will always be on the first slide of every assignment. This is whether we go over the directions in Google Meet or or you don't, they're always going to be here for you guys to watch. But please be aware, you have to be in present mode to watch the video. So everything on this slide cannot be deleted. The reason for that is just to make sure that you guys don't delete anything by accident. If for some reason that you do delete a slide, just know that if you go up to add slide, you'll see all of the slides are already there. So let's say that you delete this slide, you can always click that and add it back. So you don't have to get a hold of me if something deletes. You can always just go to add slide and then you'll find the different slides. So if, like I said, you delete this one, you can always click it and get it back. So obviously watch the directions. I mean, if you're hearing this right now, you're watching the directions. This is due tonight by 11:59 p.m. The reason I chose this lesson for the asynchronous day, meaning the day that we don't have any Google Meets, is just because you're just reviewing a lot of the stuff that you guys learned last week or last year, or not last year, in the beginning of the year, last semester, about best practices and classroom norms. Okay, so for this first part, it says drag the star to the number line that represents your current mood. You'll see this on a lot of my Google Slides. All you do is you take this little star thing and then you just put it where your mood is. So you have happy and ready for class. You can have something is bothering me, but I can still focused. And then you can have I'm so tired and not ready for this class. You'll put the star anywhere you feel along these lines. Now, classroom norms. You're going to want to take time to read this slide before you get to the next one. And like I said, you can't delete anything on the slide. It's not clickable. Even this over here is not moved. So each one of these is basically my classroom norms. So this is stuff that's also on the best practices thing, but these are kind of things that I wanted to highlight as far as what my classroom norms are. So my classroom norms are, first of all, show up for yourself. Be present, be open to learning new things, and take ownership of your learning. Don't come to class not ready to learn, or at least be open to. If you have a question, ask. If you don't understand something, or if you need extra help, or don't have do assignments. Make sure that you're doing to the best of your ability. The class is only what you make of it. And make sure that you're trying for yourself, because at the end of the day, that is who you should be rooting for, is for yourself. And everything you do, don't do it for me, do it for you. Check Google Classroom. So I will be posting most of my things in Google Classroom and on Remind. And if you're not checking it day to day, you're going to miss where assignments are. I have it pretty organized. I am going to go over that next week with you on how everything is and where everything is. But it's really important that you're checking Google Classroom every day. I will post things at the same time each day. I will post things in the same place. I have it organized by weeks, but again, it's not going to do you any favors if you don't check it. So communicate. If you don't understand an assignment or can't make a deadline or something like that, reach out to me. I'm not going to bite your head off. I'll be understanding as long as you're not making up some excuse. I'll be understanding. So make sure that you're communicating with me, because I'll never know that you have trouble with an assignment if you don't tell me. I'll never know that you couldn't go to a Google Meet because an electricity problem if you never tell me. Now, obviously, if that's happening 5 days a week, that'd be something I would be concerned with. But I get it. Sometimes things happen, but make sure that you're communicating with me and reaching out in any way that you can. You will have access to Remind starting next week. You can also use Google private comments, and you can also email me if you want. But know that Remind is the best way to get a hold of me if our Google Meet is over, just because I will answer that faster because it's connected to my phone. Mute. So when you're in the Google Meet, obviously when everybody's talking at the same time, if you're not muting yourself, it's really hard for me to concentrate, and then I end up like losing track of like what I'm actually talking about. So muting yourself is really important, not because I just don't want to hear you speak. It's just because, it's just like in a classroom, if everybody was talking at the same time, I wouldn't be able to hear myself think. And unmute yourself if I'm asking a question. You can also use the chat box to ask questions. If people are using it inappropriately, you'll notice I turn the chat box off. But for the most part, I keep it on for anybody that has questions. And just unmute yourself if I ask you a question, and mute yourself when you're done with the question. Stay engaged. Try to find a quiet place. I know I have a dog who loves squeaky toys, and they do the leaf blower at my place every Wednesday morning. So I get it. They're like, sometimes there's this distractions that you cannot get away from, but try your best to find a quiet place to work, even if it's just, like a corner of your room or something. Try to put your phone away. Try to keep those distractions away. Anything that is causing you to kind of tune out, you might want to put away while we're in the Google Meet. Ask for help. Just reach out. You have Google Comments. Starting next week, you'll have Remind, email me, etc. You got lots of different ways. You can ask me in a Google Meet. I'll always go over assignments and things you're having trouble with. Be a good digital citizen. Keep the chat box on topic. Be safe online. Respect your peers and their experiences. It might not be as hard for you, virtual learning, but it might be really hard for somebody else. So kind of just be respectful for that. Everybody's kind of in their own world right now of what's going on. So you don't want to cause any additional stress on other people. So try to be as nice as possible. If somebody doesn't understand something, that's like okay. If you understand it and they don't, there's no reason to comment on that. We're all in our own world. We're all feeling our own experiences, and it's really important that you're respectful to other people and you're just being a good person, being helpful. So you'll see I'll turn off the chat if the chat box does become inappropriate, or if there's something, just know that you will be your comments will be screenshotted. I will turn off the chat box, and there will be consequences for anybody who's choosing not to be a good digital citizen. Be on time and be prepared. Please be on time. It makes my life run a lot easier. I do not like sounding like a broken record and having to go over the same thing again and again and again in the same Google Meet. So if you're on time, it makes my life easier. It also makes your life easier because you're not having to stay in a Google Meet forever and a day. The later you are to a Google Meet, the longer I have to stay to go over things I've already gone over, instead of being able to stay and help other people that need help with the assignment. So make sure you're on time and make sure you're prepared. Make sure your computer's charged, or even if it's not charged, you're close to a charger that you can charge quickly. And then that pretty much sums up this classroom norms slide. Other than just try your best. I just be the world's best trier. Okay, so this slide is where you'll actually be going over what I just went over myself. So you'll be telling me in each of these boxes, you're going to describe in your own words what each of these mean, or you're going to give an example of what it means to communicate, what it means to show up for yourself. So I'm just looking to see if you actually watched my video and understood what I was saying, because if you actually watched the video and you are doing this assignment, then they'll be very similar to what I was talking about in the last slide. And I do apologize for anybody that I talk really fast. I know I talk really fast, and I also say a lot, so I do apologize for that in all my videos. So you're going to answer this question in the box below. This asks, what distracts you most during virtual learning? How can you help yourself become less distracted? This is just kind of a self-awareness. A lot of time we know exactly what distracts us. We just don't want to admit it because we don't want to give that up. So just kind of be honest with yourself. What distracts you? How can you help yourself not be distracted? This one, you are going to watch this video, and it's going to talk about leaving a positive digital footprint, because everything you do on the internet, regardless of whether it's the social media app or anything like that, it's recorded into internet history basically, and it's really hard to get rid of. So that your history on a digital platform is called your footprint. And you'll notice, like, just because you delete something doesn't make it go away. So you want to create a positive footprint in life, because sometimes that stuff will come back to haunt you. This is coming from somebody who cannot delete their MySpace account. There's nothing bad there, but I can tell you from experience, like what you put on the internet doesn't come off. So be careful what you put up. Now, digital learning expectations. These are the expectations for TMS in particular. So we have be safe, be responsible, and be respectful. So Tiger Pride, this is basically just kind of keeping this pretty self-explanatory. Do your best, be your best, follow directions, protect privacy online, kind of like common sense rules. In Google Classroom, it says, use private chat, channel communications with teachers one-on-one, keep a written record of Google Classroom codes, turn in all assignments, complete work. This is just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in Google Classroom. That's basically what this is saying. Make sure that you're doing the assignments. Make sure you're on time to your Google Meets, that kind of thing. Google Meet whole group. So make sure you're staying on topic. Make sure you're asking for one-to-one help if you need it. Make sure that your video is on unless told otherwise. Use audio when permitted, only when permitted. Complete warm-up. Just basically whatever is being asked in you in a Google Meet, try your best to do that. I get that Google Meets are kind of awkward. I get like you don't want to look at yourself. I get sometimes people don't like their voices on a Google Meet and things like that. So I totally understand. All I want you to do is try your best and try to be present in Google Meet. But these are kind of just the TMS rules. Google Meet small group, pretty much the same thing. You are just, it's just the same rules, just, smaller group. For the second part of this, it goes over assignments. It's basically do your assignments, be on time. If you have trouble with your assignments and you need extra time or you need extra help, make sure you're communicating that. Digital literacy, just keep your stuff private. Don't share your passcodes with other people and things like that. Digital citizenship, be a good person. If you see something, say something. Don't make somebody else's life miserable. You really have no idea what's going on the other side of their curtain of life. So just make sure that you're doing everything that you are supposed to be doing. All caps are discouraged in communication. I wonder if that sounds because it sounds like you're yelling. I actually did not see that. If you wrote in all caps in communications, like in a Google chat, I'll probably assume you are yelling at me, but I'm not going to get too offended. But that's pretty funny that's actually there. Technology use. Use your iPad as intended. Don't use it as like a coaster or something. Don't use it as like a something to throw at your sibling. Use your iPad as intended, because it's going to suck if it breaks and you're reliant on it. It's like your phone. Like imagine like your phone, when you break your phone, it really does suck not to have a phone because you broke it because you did something stupid with it. And this is coming from somebody who's broken at least two phones. So just treat your stuff with respect. And then the last slide of this is just going over, do you have any questions for me? Like, is there something on the TMS learning experience that you want to know? Like, maybe you have a question about, video, or you have a question about audio, or you have a question about assignments. This is your chance to ask me any questions about anything that you want to know about. Like I said, the first slide, the classroom norm ones, this is kind of my classroom norms. And then this is the one, these two right here are what we go over as a school. So you have the school expectations, and then you have my specific expectations. So if you have any questions about either one of those, you can write them into this box. But other than that, that's it. You are done once you finished all those slides. Don't forget to press turn in, obviously. You won't get your points otherwise. This is worth 30 points and it's going to be graded on a rubric. You can look at the rubric that's attached to the assignment. If you've watched this whole video, congratulations, because it's close to 15 minutes and that's a long time to be watching a video, but I do commend you on taking the time to actually watch this video lesson. If you need any help that you did not get into the video, just ask me. You can use the Google private comments, just because we aren't in Remind yet. You just make sure that they're on the assignment and not some random place just because, like other assignment, because it's going to be easier for me to find them. And don't get offended if I don't see the Google comment right away. Google, I get notifications from Google, like a lot of notifications from Google. So sometimes I don't always see them right away. But I promise you that at least within the hour, I'll be able to see your assignment. And as far as this assignment and when it's due, it's your assignments. You'll find that the day that they're due, they're usually not due until 11:59 p.m. So if for some reason you ran out of time during class, just know that you do have additional time after class to finish the assignment. But other than that, that's it. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.